Hi everybody, it's Friday and welcome to Raven and Troy. We are doing release and remastering of Christmas in the Water Park this year. Jul i Slottsbadet, that's the Danish title. This is a community project. It's a socio-economic business. It's down by the lake. It's a subtropical water park, and the Christmas show was broadcasted on Channel 4 with miniatures. The second show was done in 2012 with live actors. The two scripts are exactly identical. Santa Claus crashes in the Arctic Ocean. He's on a piece of ice. But he's got his goose Gertrude, and Gertrude flies to the nearest place that'll be able to help out Santa. Santa can be saved by a magic water formula performed by one of two nisses who live underneath the water park. And it all would have worked out very fine if it wasn't because that was the exact same day where two kids decided to do late night swimming. And the girl, who we later learn is a nisse herself, falls into the pit. We also learn that she might actually have let go on purpose, because she grew up in an orphanage where a girl gang called the Squids didn't always treat her so well. The sound recording for a project like this begins with recording a lot of voices. And for the music, some effect instruments in the beginning. The word castle is part of the name of the place, so we'll be looking for brass instruments, string instruments, and maybe some piano. For the music composition, in the beginning I had this tea box, Celestial Seasonings, gingerbread spiced tea. And it had a miniature world image on it with a mood that I sort of remember from my childhood. There would be images around that you could just sit and stare at, get lost in, because you would start wondering, what's behind that bridge? Why are they running? And what kind of world is this? And then you try in your composition to answer those questions through the music. That was sort of the first inspiration for creating melody. We needed something that you could play a little of in every of these 24 episodes in the beginning. And it had to be something that sounded like Christmas, maybe some bells in there. And at the time, Johnny Cash was recording his last album and they used some very heavy compressions on his voice. And I thought that was cool. We should have some very compressed piano, something thick. Typically in the 2005 puppet version, things sound heavy, old and strong. And if something is rhythmical, it's either jazzy or based on disco from the 70s. Then came 2012. This was in the early days of the Raven and Troy workshop, and the whole thing was being shot again, with actors on screen and a water park in full scale. The script was the same, and many of the instruments that we were using in the previous piece was also used here, but things got a little bit more advanced. The Squids had a beautiful piano piece, something that would suggest a sensitivity and an emotional backstory. Maybe from staring out the window of the orphanage for years and years and years, waiting for something good to happen. Also this time we had lyrics. We made a song that was played in the credits with a very distinctive line, "You actually don't see me, du ser mig faktisk ikke." And this was a way in which you could every day leave the audience with a little suggestion, watch the next episode, and also maybe wonder a little bit about what that sentence actually meant. And here's the explanation. "You actually don't see me" refers to the alienated life of the nisse in the story. The central character, the nisse who disappears in the first episode, is actually gone throughout most of the show, trapped in the deep by a giant octopus. We don't see her that much. And what we are hearing in the credits is a prequel. Here was a story about a nisse growing up in an orphanage because she couldn't find her parents. And at a point in her life, where the story begins, she finds someone special. That person is Robin, and he works in the water park. Story begins. This is how adding a song to a play will provide the audience with an additional perspective. Kind of like a musical. Christmas in Water Park Kolding ends well. Everybody works together and finally it's Christmas. But exactly how that happens, you can of course find out yourself. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.